Hello, everybody. It's the Supporter Hashtag Creatives podcast. My name is Alan Greenstein. I am the founder and producer on Support Hashtag Creatives. The goal of our organization is to level the playing field for underrepresented creators and artists so that they have the same opportunities as everybody else to have their projects made, seen, and distributed. I'm also on the board of directors of the Bella Levy Foundation. The goal of the Bella Levy Foundation is to fight human trafficking and to provide a safe haven for its warriors. I'd also like to say hi to people watching this live, as well as those watching the replay. So I am so excited today. We have as our guest Jazzzelle, R&B urban music singer and performer. So Jazzzelle, welcome. And why don't you give yourself a brief introduction and we'll be on our way.
Well, thank you, Alan, and thank you for having me today. My name is Jazzzelle. I am a R&B hip hop artist, and that's my brand of urban music. I perform in concerts, musicals, and in theater. I also host and MC events. You can check me out on all social media platforms by going through my website, which is jazzzelle.com. That's JAZZELLE.com, and that's 3 Z's.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Why don't you give us our origination story? How did you get started, and where did you get started, for that matter?
Oh my gosh, that is a long story, but it's really short too, in the sense that I started singing when I was a little girl, and I was always into music. I also perform more than singing. I have done some instrumentation, and actually performed from school to performing at church choirs and church functions, galas. I was a part of a choir, and we went around all over the city, and this is Washington, D.C., and performed. And as I got older, I started expanding more beyond the Washington, D.C. area, not only performing as a solo artist, I also perform with other people. So there's various independent musicians as well as bands, and I was a part of their performances also. And that's pretty much the same story now, except that I'm more focused on my solo career now. I still do collaborations with other musicians and bands. I also have done collaborations with people in the dance theater area as well as the traditional theater. And some of my goals expand beyond the stage of theater to wanting to get more into TV projects.
Okay, very interesting. Tell us about the importance of getting out in public and being seen in person, I guess, as opposed to, let's say, having just like a social media presence.
Yeah, that's very important. For me, it's been about people seeing me sing and wanting me to sing more. So I might be at a function or an event where people have hired me to perform. And a lot of times, when people actually see you in person, it's a lot more impactful than just being on uh, the screen on someone's computer or someone's device.
Yeah. And what is your process? How do you go about finding the places that you can perform or make your appearances, whatever it is, out in public?
Well, there's many different ways. The most common way is actually people find me and ask me to,
Oh,
hey, ring, ring, hey, Jazzzelle, can you perform? And that's what usually happens. But I have done marketing strategies, everyone known to mankind. I actually, um, no matter how I had to get around town, whether it was bus, train, or car, and let people know what I'm doing. So that's actually something that I've done. But all that stuff starts to pay off, and people start contacting you also.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah, that's very important that you get to the point where people are reaching out to you to perform, which I think is always everybody's goal, to get to that particular point where just like you said, where people know about you, they know what you can do, and they want to have you perform for them. That'd be great. That's excellent. Yeah. So, what kind of venues do you typically perform at?
Well, a lot of my performances have been at festivals, and basically outdoor festivals that are annual celebrations and things like that. But I've also expanded to a restaurant type of theater settings, as well as another area that I hadn't done a lot in was actually bars. I did some of those. I think you were at some of those
Yeah.
those
Yes.
performances. Yeah. So that was very interesting because that was my first experience. But I've done so many different types of performances throughout my career, including people's birthday celebrations, or annual celebrations, like somebody's 10th anniversary of their company or something like that. I've also performed on radio, and
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Tell us about the no, this is particular topic is no longer with us, but tell us about the importance of that Periscope played in your in getting your name out there. For those who don't know, Periscope was really the first live stream platform that people could actually carry with them, like they do it on their phones. And this was before Facebook Live and Instagram Live came along, and so Periscope was quite a thing at one time. So tell us about that.
Oh, that was amazing. It was like an era. Unfortunately, that ended in about 2023 or something. Anyway,
Yeah.
Periscope was a live stream platform. You would get on, I would get on, and I would have a show every single day of the year, sometimes 3 times a day, because I was loving it so much. And I built a fan base on there, and a lot of people would come on and communicate. And one of those people was you. And actually, there was a lot of people on there. So it's like I think I'm still in touch with about 3 dozen people from there, and we're pretty close. I've met those people. I go to their concerts. Everyone's not a musician. Some people are makeup artists. Some people are music producers. Some people are music managers, and I'm pretty close to them till this day. And a lot of them, I've seen them at least 3 times. So that's interesting because the way that was, it was almost like a conversation where you could actually get to know somebody, and that person got to know you, even if they were just messaging you back and they didn't get on the screen with you. So that was really nice. And like I said, till this day, I'm in touch with people from there, and have made some pretty good friends on that platform. So, Periscope is not here anymore, but those relationships will last.
Yeah, and that's great to know that these relationships have outlasted the platform, but
Mhm.
it shows that the platform did what it was supposed to do at the time.
Yes,
Yeah,
it did.
yeah,
Yeah.
and this is and that's how Jazzzelle and I hooked up, was through Periscope.
Yeah.
And at the time, both of in the same the same hometown and everything else. So that's why I was able to go out and see her perform a number of times while she was in the DC area.
Yeah, so it's also, I wanted to make this point that when there's different social media platforms, people should actually um, diversify, because if people would have stayed on that platform, we still would have had that good audience. And my understanding is that they would stream that platform on TV also. It was on a streaming platform, but still, it wasn't a major network, but it had a really big reach. So for artists especially, don't just go to a one-stop shop. Stay with the people who brought whatever to you originally, or stay with whoever was working originally, because a lot of times it's good to have as many of these platforms as possible, and not people just to run to what they were comfortable with, or a one-stop shop.
Yeah, that's not everybody feels that way, but as I say, you've explained why that's important to you to be on a lot of platforms.
Mhm.
So it's fantastic, and hopefully that one of the things about you have to you need the time to make sure that you keep everything up to date on all the platforms that you're on. So if they're willing to go through that, then definitely it's advantageous to be on a lot of different platforms, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're going to pause for a brief commercial, and we'll be right back. I'm Alan Greenstein, founder and producer at Support Our Creatives. At Support Our Creatives, I offer a number of services to support those developing a project. Check out the services tab of my website at supportourcreatives.com. If you are interested, please use the contact tab on my website, or email me directly at alan@supportourcreatives.com. Okay, we're back. All right, so as I said, you were based in Washington D.C. area when I first met you, but since then you've moved on to another city,
Yeah.
and I want to explore the how do you get started in a new city in terms of what you have to do, because you were well established in Washington, you moved to another city, moved to Atlanta. So how did you go about starting to get yourself out there, your name out there and everything?
Well, in Atlanta, it's a really big area. I'm new to the area, and you always have to get out and meet new people. So that's what I've been doing since I've been here, and it's really interesting. I've started to form a tribe of music people that I am communicating with, and I look forward to collaborating with them in the future. There are some people that I have done some collaborative things at different city parks that they have here. That's one really great thing about this area, is that they have plenty of parks, and that's a parallel with Washington, D.C. The only thing is this place is way bigger. It's like many miles just to get across town.
Yeah. So I guess Atlanta has certain advantages over DC, but yet apparently you just stated one that was a disadvantage because of the sheer distance involving getting from point A to point B when you're in Atlanta. But do you feel that you're beginning to conquer that problem, knowing your way around better and things like that?
Well, I think it's easy for me to conquer things because I'm very adaptable. The main thing I see is I like Atlanta to kind of grow in a certain way. I know I'm coming from the outside and looking at it and saying, hey, this is the way you guys could do this in a certain way. But I'm going to give you an example. Some of my friends, they have multiple um, performances on a given evening in Washington, D.C., and they go to 4 of those different uh, performances, and that's how they're putting food on their table. So it's here physically impossible to do that at the time. Now, if though they develop some kind of art district type situation, maybe 4 of them, one for the Northeast, one for the Northwest, one for the Southeast, and one for the Southwest, the area of the city, that it would allow people to, including the people who are in the suburbs, to be able to go into the city and participate without driving 35 or 40 miles to get from one place to the next, and of course through all the traffic and so on. So that's something that I would like to see in the future here, because it would make it a lot easier for some of the working musicians who do have that situation where they're looking to support themselves, and getting from point A to point B is a challenge. So those are some things that I can see right off the bat. And I'm sure there's plenty of music venues, but it's just that they're so far away from each other in many cases.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm familiar with the Midtown Atlanta. Have you had opportunities to perform in that area?
Yeah, in the sense I have. There's a lady who I have been collaborating with, and I had performed in the park. It was not a highly advertised event, but I did perform in the park with her. And it was really, really a fun thing to do because, again, like I said, I like parks, and I like um, being involved with other artists too, and kind of coming together and making something new. I've always liked being very creative, and that just kind of like feeds that need to be able to be creative.
Yeah. So, what degree of success have you had in finding a support group and collaborators in Atlanta?
Well, when it comes to the support group, there are some singer songwriters that get together throughout the month, and they kind of meet and greet each other and sing together. And basically, this is something that helps us feed our creative juices, so to speak. So we're actually able to go and kind of like feed off of each other's energy, and that's something that an artist needs to be around other artists and say, hey, well, this person's similar to me, and just create and have that process going. So new projects can come, maybe things like new recordings or collaborative projects that will end up on streaming or end up on a physical CD. Some people think it's old, but hey, that's our merch for a lot of us independent artists. Um,
Yeah,
that's something for us to be able to sell when we're at a concert, along with our T-shirts and on and on.
yeah. So, what made you decide to relocate to Atlanta?
Well, it's just basically family. That's why I relocated, and I it was not a career decision. And basically, I how can I put it? I'm wondering at this point. Um, I have a lot of work to do because I did do the move, like you said, because I was more established in Washington D.C. So one good thing though about the area is that there are a lot of productions going on, and
Yeah,
there are a lot of how can I put it? Not just in the film area, but there's a lot of people who have studios down here, and I'm looking to get connected with people who have the music studios, and maybe work on some projects. I have not worked on any recordings to be streamed yet at this point, but I do look forward to it. It's basically been live radio recordings that I've done back in the Washington, D.C. area, as well as recording to be synced with a TV show. Those are the things that I have been doing so far in the recording area. And I like to expand and release some original music.
oh, okay, yeah, fantastic. Um, yeah. So, do you have any specific venues in mind or as I say, music recording companies that you're interested in?
I don't actually have specific ones that I'm interested in. I'm open to working with whoever is good to work with. And that's another thing I have to learn about navigating my way through who is the best person to work with in this area, and who will be able to do a project and take everything into consideration that I want to do in my career, as well as my personality in that equation. Because if you have someone producing you, they need to understand you as an artist also, not just understand you musically, but your personality and what you want to convey and what you want to express.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I guess the advantages of being in Atlanta versus Washington, D.C.
Some of the advantages. I'm not sure yet. I haven't found those out yet. I have to
Okay.
figure it out. Some of the advantages, I'm going to say this, and it's from a lover of music standpoint. I really like singers are my favorite people on earth. And the people say, who's your favorite singer? But I listen to hundreds, if not thousands, of
Wow.
singers and enjoy every part of their voice and what they're doing. So this is an area where they have a lot of venues that bring all different types of artists, from the big arenas to amphitheaters and to neighborhood locations. So it's a really good thing to be in an area that I can still, you know, see and get my music fix on a regular.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I say that Atlanta obviously is a very big area from the entertainment perspective, to in terms of also in terms of television shows and films as well as music.
Yeah.
So it would be great if you'd be able to get involved with all those different types of disciplines.
Yeah. And actually, uh, I have looked into some with dealing with film and TV, syncing music to TV shows, and that would include anything from soundtracks to independent and major films to also doing a song for maybe a commercial or TV show. So those are things that you can do also, which are more behind the scenes, because many times people don't necessarily know, unless they read all the credits on the film, who that person is who put the music together. And especially in commercials, they don't. But that's an area that's big here because of all the media companies. And then you know, just in general, there's so much going on with film and TV that even some of my music friends that I know of, they have been on television programs. They have also been in movies. In fact,
Oh,
a
wow.
lot of people that I know of that are actually, believe it or not, originally from Washington, D.C., are in film and TV. And they actually, a lot of them are singers also, or musicians. And they're located in DC, Atlanta, as well as Los Angeles. And they're, even though they're a singer or a musician, they're also in these areas too. And personally, I am an actor too. So that's something that I was looking into, getting into acting more and getting into theater more here in this area.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Do you have any theater experience?
I've done a lot of theater, especially dance theater, and also inter uh, intertwining music with dance and performance. So those are the things that I've done. So I definitely have a good amount of theater experience. Also, I've done a production called Queen of Swing, where it featured American Songbook music. And so I've done my share of theater, and it's been mostly musically based. And when I'm talking about the other kind of theater, which is mostly acting based, is the kind that I'm looking to possibly get into, because that's another thing that I have done. And um, I've been told I'm good at it, so why not do it?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You got to keep pursuing that. And I want to throw in that lots of people that I hooked up with in Washington D.C. over the years in this area, they've a lot of them actually have moved to Atlanta and Los Angeles for that matter. Those two places that you mentioned. So I guess for people maybe get a start in DC, but then they feel they have to get into a different area to in order to advance their careers. So
Sometimes you have to go away for a little while, but you know what? I think I also know artists that have gone back to Washington D.C. and
oh,
they're doing great. Like I have a friend who has been. She was in LA for a while, and she was acting out there. But then when she came back to Washington, D.C., she got a lot more bigger parts and was featured in some BET movies or BET Plus movies. And she also is touring currently in Japan. So that's going to be a 2-month tour. So actually, even though she went away for a while, it seems like she's doing even better in Washington, D.C. now than she ever was doing in LA.
okay. It's a very interesting point that you brought up. And so like Washington D.C. still holds an attraction for people to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it seemed like a lot of people were moved that I know were moving away, but I guess people are coming back, and
Yeah.
there are opportunities in Washington D.C. And speaking of that, are there any things in Washington D.C. that you think can be done better than you could do in Atlanta?
Better than Atlanta. I'm not sure if I can actually compare that, but I know what Washington, D.C. can do better. I'm going to go out here and say it loud and clear. I feel that Washington, D.C. would keep a lot more of their artists if they treated an artist like an artist instead of a corporation.
Mm.
I'm going to make a really good example here. Now, there's some venues that artists sometimes want to rent out for a certain type of show. Most of the time, artists are hired to do shows, but sometimes artists want to rent out a venue to do a show. Now, or some type of performance, whether it be acting, singing, dancing, a musical. But anyway, many times the individual artist is treated like a corporation, meaning they're charged corporate prices. And then there are these big organizations, some of them that have an executive director that's paid $150,000 a year and has 50 to 100 employees. But that organization gets a way bigger discount than the artist does. So let's say the nonprofit organization gets to pay $500 to rent out the venue, but they're telling the artists they have to pay $2,500. So I think that Washington, D.C. can do a lot better at those types of things where understanding that an artist is one person and how can you charge it one person 5 times as much as you charge in an organization that can afford to pay one person $150,000 a year and have 50 to 100 people on their employee list.
Okay. Well, that definitely is quite a statement to make, and that I did not know that, and I'll be remembering that from now on. About what you said, yeah, because I mean, this is really this is DC for me. The DC area, DC and Baltimore actually together are actually, that's my total area of personal experience. Like being on set or acting or whatever it is. So that's where that's where my base is. Although I do have projects all over the country, work with other people too. But obviously in DC, that's the place where I actually can get more hands-on experience by being here.
Yeah.
So that's my experience. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned something to me when we were talking about starting a newsletter about entertainment. What can you say more about that, and what you would want? What's your goal for that newsletter?
Well, I'm going to start reporting on people who are in my friend circle as well as my artist circle, letting people know what they're doing, so they can understand that uh, this is an artist who is really good at his or her craft and that they should check this person out. And they'll be able to find out about virtual situations where they can participate in uh, the performances or interviews such as today. And they will also find out ways they can participate in person and go to a performance and, find out also about uh, just how that person is progressing in their career and maybe about them going on tour in somewhere like Japan. So I know so many people who are doing amazing things, and I just want to share that with other people. And I also will be announcing what I'm doing too. So I have done a lot. What were you saying?
Oh, I didn't know. Continue.
Okay, I have done a lot of virtual performances, but I had allowed them to be uh, advertised by the individual who was running it. And that was, yeah, most of the things that I've done were virtual since I've been in Atlanta. So even things like that, so people can be able to find out about things that are virtual that I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're going to be talking about people that you know as well as yourself, being in person or virtual, and in the various disciplines, and 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 the people that you're going to feature, are they're probably, it sounds like that they'll be all over the country because all of the people that you know, right?
Yes, they would be all over the country. I'm not going to just, you know, focus on one area because I think I know people all over the country and they all need to be, talked about and what they're doing because I shouldn't be keeping this all to myself and saying, oh, let me tune in. And, I've been running to the television and running to the streaming services to watch people I know on um, on these movies and these television shows and stuff all the time, and I feel that I should be letting people know this person's from this place, and that might be the same hometown as one of the readers of the newsletters, and they might be inspired by that.
Yeah. Well, this sounds like this is a great project, and it's something that will benefit people all over the country, both people who are in the biz as well as people who are interested in seeing people perform. And it might even help people even break into the business, because
Yeah.
they learn about more people.
Yeah, and people can just send an email through my website saying they want to be on the list. I do have a group of people already who do want to be on the list, and I'm going to be getting that started pretty soon.
Okay. So that's the Jazzzelle.com you're talking about. There's a
Yeah.
link to be able to sign up for your for this newsletter that you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not, there's
Fantastic.
not a place that says sign up for the newsletter on there yet, but there's a place that says contact, and you can just send the email and say email list or newsletter, and that way you'll be able to get the information. Because I
Oh,
was saying
fantastic.
I have to stop and I have to share. I have to share all this amazing stuff. I have a friend that's in Japan now doing amazing stuff. I'm definitely going to be sharing this.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great attitude that you have. While you're going to get yourself, let's say, going again in Atlanta, you're still interested in spreading the wealth and letting people know about the people that you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's great. I'm looking forward to the newsletter. See what's going on with that.
Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. That's right. And let's see. I mentioned about finding a support group and collaborators. So have do you have a like regular meetings or with the people that you're hooking up with in Atlanta, or how's that working?
Well, basically on Mondays they have a meeting, and it might be like once or twice a month on a Monday, and people just get together and have a great time and sing together and so on. So that's something that I have been involved with. But I lately I've been actually trying to do other things. Actually, tonight I am missing that now as we speak. But I have had other things like a film festival was another night. So I have not made it to every meeting, you know. So I would like to go more often, because some months I do miss, and but they're doing amazing work.
Yeah. Well, I know that you're going to try your best to be a participant, and it sounds like a great thing having the people like-minded people getting together like this.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And once again, people will find out about what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be performing, what other people are going to be performing. So it's going to be a great thing.
Yeah, and I will include whatever artist it might be, even if it's not the traditional artist, as long as the person's in entertainment.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was a makeup artist, the late AJ Crimson, and he did some amazing work when he was on this planet. So I mean, I had said I really want you to be able to do something at Tyler Perry Studios, and he did actually end up working on Wakanda Forever. So that
Right.
was something that I would have announced if, my newsletter was out at that time. So, I mean, just like now, same thing now, me putting out a, a newsletter is going to encompass entertainment and different areas of entertainment.
Okay. Okay. So basically, you keep having people all the different disciplines, whether it be above the line or below the line, behind the
Hmm.
scenes or in front of the scenes.
Yeah.
Anybody, as long as they're in entertainment. Well, that's good. This way, people will get to know about what the different people do in the in entertainment. So that's a great
Mhm.
idea. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to have another brief commercial, and we'll be right back. I'm Alan Greenstein, founder and producer at Support Our Hashtag Creatives. If you make something, albeit make a movie, start a business, write a book, make a physical product, run a nonprofit, promote people, are a songwriter, etc., you too are a creative, and I would love to have you be a guest on the Support Our Hashtag Creatives podcast. If you want to be featured on this podcast, please use the contact tab on my website at supportourcreatives.com or email me directly at alan@supportourcreatives.com. Okay, we are back. So, do you have any advice for those who would like to emulate what you do?
Wow, it's a lot of advice. I could go on forever with this advice. But anyway, I would first off say make sure you get trained very well in what you're doing so you can be really, really good at something in your field. Okay. Remember, I was talking about all the hundreds, if not thousands, of singers. I really like, they're all good at doing something with their voice. It may be different in each case, but they're all really, really good at singing in a certain way. Okay. So, likewise, I would encourage people to go get training. I remember there was this man that asked me to listen to his daughter's music, and my first thing is that she needs to get training. And I was asking, is she producing and writing this song? Also, also there's training for that too, and so you can learn uh, the music and learn how to express yourself in the most effective way with technique behind it. So that's first off. And then second, I would say make sure you don't stay in a silo. Now, being an artist takes a lot of time where you're just by yourself because you have to rehearse, you have to study your music or whatever discipline you're in. A lot of times you're just by yourself, period. So you have to come out of that shell sometimes and go out into the streets and meet people, especially other artists just like you, so you can have someone to relate to, so you can have someone to collaborate with, and so you can get out there and produce a finished product, whether the finished product is a show on stage or whether it's a MP3 or whether it's a film. That's what happens. You can't do everything by yourself. Now, some people they'll play 10 instruments and they'll sing on the tracks and everything, and they'll produce and try to mix and master. And that is something you can do, but it's a lot easier when you have other people doing it. And everyone, of course, doesn't have all the talent to do all those things. So it's probably best to find someone to play each instrument that needs to be played, and your project will get done quicker. Instead of it taking maybe 2 years, it can take 3 months.
Hmm. Yeah, that's some great advice that you gave people. You can't necessarily do it all by yourself, and you have to be dedicated enough and trained for what you want to do. Make sure you can do it. Yeah, right, fantastic. Yeah. So, okay, how can people get in touch with you?
Well, people can get in touch with me through my website. That's jazzzelle.com. That's JAZZELLE.com. That's 3 Z's. And also, I have social media. So you can go to the homepage of my website and click through to all my social media platforms. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on many others that it just goes on, Snapchat, on and on and on. But the first ones I mentioned are the ones I'm on the most, and it's at Jazzzelle Love. So at JAZZELLELOVE. So basically, if you get to my website, you'll see everything, and you'll be able to click through.
Yeah, great. That's great. Yeah, one-stop shop. Go to the website and you go everywhere else from there. Fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to, as I said, this newsletter, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
So,
me too. Me too.
yeah. Well, okay, then. Is there anything else that you'd like to mention before we wrap it up?
Well, I like to mention that I'm really happy that you invited me on this interview, and I am looking forward to uh, participating in other interviews that you do in the future, and also watching the interviews that you've done so far. And definitely look forward for some really big things. I'm planning to do some collaborations where I'm traveling to different cities in the country. So stay in touch and keep going to the website. There's a tour area of the website where you can click through from the first page to see about performances. There's also the social media that will update you with some of these things. So definitely stay in touch. And I'm going to start doing live streaming on TikTok.
Oh, fantastic. I have to remember that. Yes. Okay. Well, I'd like to thank Jazzzelle for being on the show tonight. And it's really great to reconnect with you. And and I want to let everybody know that this episode will be repurposed and ultimately will be showing up on various streaming platforms like Spotify. So with that, once again, thanks everybody for being here, and I say good night, everybody.
Good night.
Here's
All
a message
right.
about Crystal Starnes, advocate for victims, and podcaster.
Are you an entrepreneur, actor, music artist, or someone trying to make a difference in the community, or have a story that could help someone suffering in silence? If your answer is yes, then you need to check out Crystal Starnes' various podcast shows that she produces and hosts. Come on one of her shows and make a difference. Promote your business on her platforms. Ask her about package deals to get your brand more noticed. Want a commercial about your business done by her voice? She also offers package deals for that service. You can find her at crystalstarnshow.com and voiceforvictimsradio.com. Also, if you want access to all her podcast shows and blogs, join her community awareness page for just $4.99 a month. That's right, just $4.99 a month. Then you would have access at a click of a button to her various platforms. Crystal Starnes is trying to make a difference for all people in the world. She wants to help as many people as she can so no one is suffering in silence. Anyone who has a vision and wants to achieve their dream, she has the passion to help promote you to get you to the next level of success.
Hey, we're going to end